This is part 2 of the Bridges 8.5 videos. All right. So we have the following scenario. Let's see the color, yellow or green. This is a model rocket. And the height of the model rocket is given by h equals negative 16t squared plus 192t when the rocket is fired. So asking a few questions from this, part A, when is the height (432 feet)? Well, if you think about it, in order to answer that question, you're going to have to plug in 432 for the height, which is h. So 432 equals negative 16t squared plus 192t. You're going to want to get this equal to 0. So if I subtract 432, you get 0 equals negative 16t squared plus 192t minus 432. Now, luckily for us, what we can do is we can divide everything by negative 16 because everything is divisible by negative 16. So I can divide this by negative 16 and I can divide all of this stuff by negative 16. That's still 0, but this will now be t squared, let's see, minus 12t plus, I think it might be 27. Yep, 27. So then at this point, you factor what's left. So this would be 0 equals t minus 3 times t minus 9. And you observe that t equals 3 seconds, or t equals 9 seconds. Now, why would there be two different times? Well, if you think about what the rocket is doing, the rocket is going upward and then coming back downward. So if 432 is somewhere here, then you've got one point on the way up and the other time would be on the way down. Interesting enough. Okay, part B. When does the rocket hit the ground? Well, what would the height of the rocket be if it hits the ground? 0. This would be negative 16t squared plus 192t. So notice that all I did was take h, which was above here somewhere, and plug in 0. Once again, I can divide by negative 16. This is t squared minus 12t. You can factor out a t, and you'll get t equals 0 or t equals 12. Well, it stands to reason that it would be t equals 12 seconds. T equals 0 represents the instant that it's being fired from the launch pad, so it's also at a height of 0 there. The only other question that remains would be, what is its maximum height? Well, in order to do that, you need to find the vertex. This is a quadratic equation. If you are to graph a quadratic equation, it gives you a parabola. And not only that, but if you notice all the way up here, the leading coefficient on this quadratic, the number in front of the squared variable, is negative. Well, the graph of the quadratic is a parabola, and since the leading coefficient is negative, this is a parabola that opens downward. So if we can find the vertex, which would be this point right here, that would be the highest point that the rocket reaches. Now, in order to do so, we need to use a formula. So the formula, normally it's x equals, but this time it's going to be t equals, because that's our variable, negative b over 2a. This is, of course, if you had h equals at squared plus bt plus c. Well, we had h equals negative 16t squared plus 192t. So in our case, b is 192 and a is negative 16. So this would be negative 192 over 2 times negative 16. So negative 192 divided by negative 32 is 6. Well, that seems awfully short for a rocket. But remember, that's t, so that's times. That's 6 seconds. So to find the maximum height, what we have to do is we have to take that 6 and plug it into the height equation as t. So h would be negative 16 times 6 squared plus 192 times 6. And if my calculations are correct, that would come out to be 576, and that would be measured in feet. All right, that's how this is done. Have a good one.